and tell me if you guys appreciate these things. It can really increase access, like Keith said. It can really create new long-term relationships, and it's basically a snap your fingers, you've got a 10-year relationship with somebody if you help them with this. And it can create business. So if you want to increase your access, create relationships and get referrals and write business, I encourage you to learn student loan solutions. Now, Keith mentioned what good looks like. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that today. But what I am going to do is give you a quick refresher on the loan forgiveness, tell you about kind of what it's been, and
You took off the Jimmy's picture.
I did take Jimmy's picture out here when we did this in West Virginia. I should have put Ryan's on
I was
there.
gonna
Look
say,
at
why
us.
didn't you do something fun with Ryan?
You know, not to insult him, but we got a pretty high standard here. So what good looks like. This slide's pretty good. What I want to do is talk about the resources, materials you currently have, and before we have lunch or before the next half hour, I'm going to run through a quick version of the presentation, the student loan forgiveness presentation as it currently stands, and kind of give you my highlights on how I do that, and we can talk through, you know, what works for you, what doesn't, and let's just cut right to that. Yeah, some of these stats again we'll come back to. Let me pull up this other presentation right quick. Does anybody have a Mac?
I do.
I do not.
What do you need?
This morning, you mentioned the student loan forgiveness workshop is massive and it's kind of clunky and it's all over the place.
Yes.
I might be putting some words in your mouth here. I should preface this a little bit by saying for the past 2 years, the student loan forgiveness is almost all I've done. It has really taken off. It started with an agent in California. You guys might know Jack. My personal interest came because my wife's a teacher and I wanted to figure out her student loans. I married into those. And really, it's been successful from there. I sat with a lot of her friends. I sat with a lot of her colleagues. I worked in the Northeast. I've worked with several of you. And it's just a lot of experience and knowledge has gone into this. So what we've really done is work to refine the presentation. This presentation is actually available to you online on the Comm Center right now. And I highly recommend using it instead of the large deal that's on the workshop button on your desktop.
Yay.
Rock, you're smiling. So, without further ado, some stats. This is a pretty slick slide. It's in a lot of our workshops, and basically what it does is it gives you that opportunity to introduce the company and talk about why we're tied to student loan forgiveness in the first place. You know, why are we doing this? Is this something we're doing to generate revenue? No. We're doing this because our company, our core belief since the start has been serving educators. Started that 70 years ago, 2 teachers, and it's really grown into how can we solve for educators' issues. This is a big one. And this is a great opportunity to really introduce yourself too. A lot of the workshops I've done, I like to tell a personal story or two, or if you have a friend who's got a story, share that, or if you've had a client story, you know, share a success. But I like to say that my wife teaches 4th grade, and when we married, she had just under $7 grand in debt left, and we took a Dave Ramsey course. Have you guys heard of Dave Ramsey? Pay off your debt, debt snowball, all this stuff. So we decided to crush one of our mutual funds and just pay it off. And we did, and 3 months later I started working on this project and I realized we could have sent in a teacher loan forgiveness form and had the whole thing waived. So, that was a little frustrating for me, but a lot of your teachers have it a lot worse than that. I mean, a lot of them are struggling, do I pay my bills? Do I pay my car payment? Do I pay my student loans? Yeah, that's usually the bottom of the list. And the problem is if they hit default, it can be a really big showstopper for the loan forgiveness. So, that's a great lead into this slide. This slide is the same as from the other, a lot of these slides are the same from the other workshop. I just really took the student loan piece and kind of condensed it. And again, this has been approved. So, 15% of student loans default. That's a big deal. Basically, if you default, you're put in purgatory for loan forgiveness. You can get out, but it takes a long time to do so. That second stat, as far as the undergraduate borrower debt, it's dated. If you look at the numbers from 2015, it's actually up to, as of, they just released this the end of April, 2016 average graduate debt is $37,000. So that's a 30+% increase from 2013. That's insane. Has anybody ever had a 30% raise? I mean, you're not even over that kind of time frame. That's a lot. So what I'm saying with that is, this problem is only getting worse. That's why I don't really mind the dated slide information, because you can really share how crazy it's ballooned since then. And what we're really trying to do here is make sure that they know this is a big national problem, and basically solidify that they're not alone. I mean, a lot of teachers will, how to phrase this, they all have debt. Most of them have debt. They all qualify for forgiveness. But they don't really talk about it. They don't solve for it. They just kind of pay it. They will have an automatic withdrawal from their bank account, and it'll just take it out, or they'll send in a check or pay online. But really, they don't discuss this amongst themselves either. Again, I know a lot of teachers personally, you all do too. Nobody says, well, how's your student loan debt going? It just doesn't happen. But really, if you show them this slide and say, who in here has student loan debt? Okay, and then say with me, you're not alone. You guys don't have to do that, but you tell them that's a really bad pun. The thing there, that's so bad. That's so bad.
It's so bad, it took time for everybody else to get it.
It's all good. Really, what it does is it really opens up the discussion, and it helps them to share, my loan debt, my payment, my service, or this, and that opens up a lot of the other slides we've got coming. Bankruptcy is a big deal. Some of them have filed for bankruptcy. I like to read that stat. Some agents skip over it. They say, I don't want to even mention bankruptcy. I've had several people come up to me at the end and say, I filed for bankruptcy and I couldn't get rid of my student loan debt. What can I do? And the goal of all of this, while we did say access, relationships, and business, the goal of this workshop, I hope all of you go into this workshop knowing your goal is really to set appointments. Your goal is not to help anybody on the spot there. I mean, if you can, great. Your goal is to walk out of there with 100% appointment set rate. Bring your book, bring your laptop, bring whatever you need to do. Schedule those appointments there. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had lines of people waiting. Tim, you've seen it. Mm-hmm. People will stand in line to wait to set an appointment with you over the next 3-4 weeks, 2 weeks, as soon as you can get them in, just to go over this information. Like Keith said, a lot of people pay for this. There's crap all over Facebook. If you've got Sirius Radio, you've probably heard all the ads. If you watch the NCAA tournament, you've heard of SoFi.
Yeah.
They don't go away, do they?
$5.99 was one company, they wanted $5.99.
$599?
Yeah.
Is there a monthly fee after that?
No, they were one of the special ones that didn't charge you the monthly fee. He made sure to be clear about that.
How much are you charging for that?
Yeah.
No, really?
Nothing.
Okay, great. Yeah, what you're charging is an opportunity to share other ways to save them money and to say, we're on your side. We want to help prepare you for your future. So what we're going to do is help you lower your monthly payments, reduce or remove your debt, and reallocate those savings to make you financially stronger. This bottom bullet point is what I spend a lot of time on. There are a lot of teachers out there that put off having a baby, getting married, moving out of their parents' basement, doing all sorts of things because of the student loan debt. I told Keith yesterday, he didn't know this, my wife, again, a teacher with a master's degree, lived with 2 other teachers in a 2-bedroom apartment for 3.5 years. That's 3 people with a master's degree living in an apartment in Springfield, Illinois, where the cost of living is pretty low. That shows that there are problems here, and that one of the major reasons was they're paying $600-700 a month in their student loan debt. And a lot of your teachers are probably paying more than they're mandated to because they're trained responsible adults. They're thinking, I know this is expensive, but I'm going to try and pay it off as soon as I can, so I'm going to pay extra. And those people, you're going to deliver some good news and bad news in that they don't need to pay extra. We're going to help them pay the absolute minimum possible amount to get the maximum amount of forgiveness if that's the best route for them.
Unfortunately, depending on your school system, you're meeting with people who have this tremendous loan debt. They've been paying extra for 8-9 years, and then you tell them, we can work on that.
Yeah. Or maybe those payments aren't qualified. But we've got some good news there today. And this afternoon, when we come back after lunch and you guys are maybe a little bit tired of feeling good from the food, because I hear it's really good here, we've got some electric information to share with you about how we're expanding student loan forgiveness. You like that? So this, yeah.
Can I ask you a question real quick? So something keeps on coming to my mind, and this is probably a special opportunity with me. Is there a guarantee that this program will stay put? I mean, is there any chance that, when whoever becomes president or something, say, hey, to get this program taken away?
Absolute great question. Absolutely. I've got a 1.5 minute answer for you that I'm happy to give you. So, without delving into politics, both parties in the debates and in different stages talk about